It was huge. Our goal was protect the paint, right? We got to protect the heart. And we knew that we were going to give up some outside shots to these guys. They're not accustomed. I mean, they shoot 16.5 threes a game. They shot 19 today. They make 6.5. They made 7. So we were going to give up a couple outside shots just to try to have a better paint presence and protect the paint. So that was a big part of who we were. But the first half, I was really disappointed in our guys. I went into the locker room. I told them, we gave up 58% from the field. We're supposed to be a defensive team. Their identity is score. They're halfway to 90. That's what they do. When they score over 80 points, I mean, they're winning. That's the numbers. Like, they score over 80, they win. They get 78, they lose. And we're a team that likes to play in the 70s and play in the 60s, and we're out here giving up 58% at halftime. I challenged our guys. I thought they were too casual in a couple spots. But knowing that in the second half they continued to execute the game plan and forced them into tough twos, and that kept them out of the paint. And so I said big shout out to like CC and Elijah, because I specifically challenged those two and needed those two to step up, and they did.
The start that you guys had with Rich hitting a bunch of threes to start the game, how much confidence did it give you to start against a Wright State team?
I mean, you got to have a good start, right? Like, if you have a bad start against a team, look how easy they were scoring in the first half. So if you don't have a good start, and Rich Byrie scored his 1,000th point, so that's a big deal, like his 1,000th college point. I mean, you play long enough, man. That guy's been in school for a while now. We got between him and Will Eames, we probably have 2 oldest guys in college basketball, pretty close too. But he scored his 1,000th point, which is no small feat. I mean, that's a guy who's done it at a high level for a long time, and Rich is continually getting better every single day. And I think part of that first semester, when you're 346th in youth in Division I, is just learning what it takes, what all goes into winning at this level, the daily grind, which Rich is extremely disciplined in his habits, but just continuing to build on those every single day, and then understanding that success doesn't just come overnight, but it's a product of all the work you put in, all the quiet hours, all the invisible hours, and that's Rich Byrie, man. He's not a big braggadocious guy, but he came out, I mean, at 17, he career high today at Green Bay, his career Division I high, 17 points tonight, and was flame throwing out there, hit some big shots.
You were talking about how the players are learning what it takes to win. I also think there's something to you teaching or reteaching the fans what it takes to win. And this was an energetic place today. How did you guys feed off that?
Man, I'm telling you, like, those momentum swings when we had to get those big stops. Rudy made a huge play down there, swiped the ball off the leg, went out of bounds. I'm a firm believer that offense excites. When people do things offensively, they score points, people get excited, and everybody claps, they get excited. They love to see the cool Sports Center play. But here in Green Bay, defense inspires. And there's a big difference between being excited and being inspired. And when you're inspired, that's when you get your ass out of your seat and start chanting and clapping and cheering on your team to get a stop. And that's what happened tonight. The crowd got inspired. There was inspiration out there because our guys were just fighting and clawing back. We were down 9, I think, or 11 at one point, and our guys kept clawing and clawing and clawing and clawing back. Their biggest lead was 10 points. Biggest lead was 10 points, and we clawed back at the 16:07 mark, cut it all the way in, got the lead. The fans were up. I'm just sitting here taking it all in. I'm smiling a little bit because I'm like, this is why you do this. As a player, if I'm getting excited, imagine what you feel as a player who's given your heart and soul to this, diving on the floor, and Rudy gets his back crushed on, and he's out there looking like Cap, off any given Sunday. And next thing you know, the crowd is up, and that's the rest of the game. That was it. Foster Wonders, big shot, offensive rebound, dagger 3. Those things inspire. Winning plays, defense inspire. And we had a very inspired crowd tonight. It was really exciting. It was pretty cool to see.
In the second half, Noah kind of took over. What does he mean to this program and to you personally, having been with him for a little bit?
Hey, you tired, kid? You ready for this? Okay. What do you think about Noah Reynolds, Grace? Is he your favorite player? Yeah. What Noah Reynolds means is Noah Reynolds is the guy who stays after practice with my daughter, hugs her, stays after practice with Skywalker, shoots shots with him, messes around with him. That's who Noah Reynolds is. Noah Reynolds is a phenomenal human being first and foremost. Secondly, he's an elite basketball player. And I think there was a little bit of tonight, people were talking about the guard showdown and all this stuff. And, look, Noah Reynolds, he put the team on his back today. He put the team on his back today in a very efficient way, too. Not one of those, I shot a lot of shots to get these points. I mean, he had 19 shot attempts and scores 40 points. I mean, that's his ability level. That's just who he is. That's what he's trained himself to become. But more so is just his ability to stay poised and calm and lead and show up every single day the right way and be a good human being to my kids and be a good human being to the fans. It doesn't take a lot of talent to be a good human being. And Noah Reynolds means a ton to this program because he's got blood in the bricks here. His brother Nick was born here. 90% of his family still lives in the Green Bay area. I always talk about that. It's really cool to do special things in a place where you were born, where you're born and raised, and where you have family. So this is just a start for Noah. There's a lot of conference games ahead, and in 36 hours, we got to do it again.
Last one. There's only one place to go, up. That's how the pregame ends, right? You're clearly taking steps up, but you know it's the first few. Now what?
This is the first 5-game stretch we've played that we've won. So we played a lot of 5-game stretches, and we've been 2-3 in those. And this is the first one we won. We're 3-1 right now. So we're not. The goal isn't to be 3-1. The goal is to be 4-1 when we play Robert Morris. But this is the first 5-game stretch that we actually have got to a point where we needed a must-win game to avoid elimination, and we did it. And so that is growth, and people don't see that. All these little micro things that happen in the course of a season, and we're sitting here 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. We went 6-7, and we didn't quite get over the hump. And now all of a sudden you have this 5-game stretch, and you're going 3-1 right now. So that's learning how to handle a little bit of success. And so that's what goes into this process is how you get up, how you go up is you stack success. But we don't treat success and failure differently. We know they're both imposters. We talk about it all the time. We just know that we don't get as excited as we used to be. That locker room was a fun locker room. They were excited. But it wasn't like this jubilation celebration where we just won a national championship locker room. It was a very poised, stoic, like we got a game in 36 hours. Let's enjoy this one till midnight, flush it, and let's get back to work because we got another big game, and every game in this league is huge because you're playing for home court advantage in the playoffs. I mean, that's what you want. It's like that's what the Packers won't fight for. You just want a home playoff game. And that's what we want. So there's a lot to play for still.
Do you feel like the team is gelling well right now, having won 3 of your last 4 and having so much success?
I think our team has been gelling well for a long time. I think these guys all love each other. They embrace the challenges that lie ahead of them. We talk about we don't know who's going to play. On any given day, there could be a lineup of guys that play more, play less. We just say, be ready when your phone rings. So I think they've embraced becoming a great team, which is my favorite thing, is to watch guys really love on each other, really care about each other, really connect with each other, and then go out and compete. And there's nothing better than competing with your brother, and especially with someone that you really truly care about in a locker room. There's nothing better than that. So that's been a competitive advantage for us.
Our game plan going into it was, they're really strong and old inside. So if we could get them to settle for non-paint threes and, difficult twos, like Trey Calvin shoots a lot of difficult twos, and we knew just going in, like, he can really score the ball. So as long as we kept them, out of paint touch rotation threes, that was going to be the game plan. And a team like Wright State, they like to play in the 80s, 90s, and I think by halftime they were on pace to get to 90. And it was just a great second half defensive effort. Preston did a great job on Trey Calvin, had him really frustrated. Usually when a guy that's that good and has that much gravity isn't scoring the ball, he's usually creating a lot of gravity, which allows him to find his other teammates and get a lot of assists, but he wasn't really able to do any of that. So big props to Rudy. We got to get those guys back. Rudy and DJ, they just back injuries, but hopefully they'll be back here soon. So just a great defensive effort in the second half.
And now you had a fairly decent game today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was pretty easy. I felt like there was a lot of opportunities that I missed, especially at the rim, free throw line. When I'm shooting the ball at a high clip, the rest of my game opens up, and I didn't start the year off shooting the ball well, so hopefully that this game will help me make a turning point. But what happens in the dark will come to the light eventually. I spent a lot of time on my shot because I know once I can become consistent in that area, my game will just become even more complete. So
how much fun is it to go up against a Trey or a Holden and best them and just compete with some elite players?
Right. It's awesome. I mean, he didn't – usually when you go into those games, you see whether those guards will guard their matchup. And you just saw in the beginning of the game they had him on DJ. So we kind of went to find that matchup to see if he wanted to guard his true matchup. So, yeah, I mean, it's just like any other game. We're trying to win every game, so I don't really look at it like we're going against Trey or, the Ohio State transfer, but, I just look at it as another Horizon League game that we need to win. So.
You weren't here last year, so you have no idea how quiet it was in that gym.
Oh man, it got loud in there on that rake when Foster cut him off, and I stripped him, and then it got really loud. I don't think I've ever heard it get that loud.
How do you feed off that?
I love it. I think that the more and more games that we can produce like that, the more and more fans will come, the more and more engagement we'll have with the fans. So I love it. I think my goal of mine, I talked to a reporter the other day, is to eventually, whether it's this year or next year, but you have Milwaukee coming and it is sold out in the Resch. I think that would be a dream of mine. So.
Do you hear that on the floor? Do you guys hear that on the floor?
Absolutely.
What does it do for the game?
I think it does a ton for. Oh, my bad. For the defensive end, especially in the second half because you're away from the bench, so just that extra energy. You're throwing off the offense, their rhythm, their cadence, their communication because it's so loud. So that was awesome. I loved that.
What does it mean to do this with Coach Wicks?
Oh, I mean.
Win here, having a relationship with him prior to this year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the situation that he came into, and to be doing this well this early, I think it's just a testament of where this program can go. This is only half of year one, so it's like, shoot, where can this thing go,